Hey there guys, how we doing? Ripping around today on my Master Pro version 3. It's highly modified. We've got the Clark fairing system on there. We've also got the Clark bio pads in the Kong iteration. There is a little bit of a modification there though, so stay tuned. That's what this episode's all about. We're running a tubeless City Extra for the tire, and I've added some fenders on the front and back. Custom. I like the carbon fiber look that came with the Blitz, so that's what I did. And again, this is a tubeless tire. The pads that I always rock, well, those are Scoyco. S-C-O-Y-C-O. You can find those on Amazon. My jacket there, that's the lazy rolling jacket. And I always rock the EUC backpack. It's just perfect for riding around. Gloves, well, those are the E-Rides Mark II, the P1 Max. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Everybody always asks about the helmet, so that's the Vega Air GPX. It's the only EUC helmet out there, providing DOT comfort, or DOT safety, epic comfort, and then it also lets you put things to your mouth. Ooh, phrasing. I added the pedal lifts. At one point in time, I did have the E-Ride pedals on here, but I took them off just because the footprint's a little bit small for what I like to do on this wheel. I like to have my whole foot planted over top of the entire pedal, and the massive size of the Begode stock pedals works out well. In lieu of swapping out the pedals, however, I did upgrade my spikes, so I've got some pretty little pink spikes on my pedals, and I also added the pedal risers, so those can be 3D printed. The STL is readily available on Cults or Thingiverse. Today's video is really about giving a big nod to Roger Chapman. Alrighty guys, we're going to explain the Chapman mod. Roger's a really bashful dude. He's a mad scientist. He doesn't really like to talk to a whole lot of people, and he trusts even less people than he talks to. So that said, he is the only person that I'm aware of on the planet that actually knows what's going on with pads and why they make them, how they make them, and what everything is for. So we're going to give you guys a crash course in Roger logic, as it were, just so you can understand that this modification that I'm giving you is dated. Okay, like this is old news for Roger. He comes from a background in, aeronautical engineering, and so he relates everything that way. I'm going to try to do my best to convey to you the way that he's conveyed to me the things that are happening inside of this pad and these modifications. So just bear with me and enjoy. Okay, so here we go. It's going to be more of a college class than it is like a typical channel video, but I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, it's going to be super duper informative. So without further ado, these pads impact all of the following things. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. These pads impact roll authority. That's pitch control in EUCs. See, in aviation, pitch refers to the up and down tilting motion of an aircraft's nose controlled by the elevator. And in EUC, this is analogous to the forward and backward tilt, which directly impacts acceleration and braking. So in EUCs, roll authority can now be reframed as pitch control authority, describing the rider's ability to precisely manage forward acceleration and backward braking tilt, similarly to like how a pilot adjusts the aircraft's pitch to climb or descend. So the rigid acrylic in this modification acts as a stabilizer, ensuring consistent response to pitch input. The foam, however, provides dampening comparable to reducing turbulence or buffering, making those inputs smoother and more manageable, right? Lever force. In aviation, so that's the yaw control in EUC. So in aviation, yaw refers to the left and right rotation of the aircraft's nose, controlled by the rudder. In EUC, this concept loosely maps to the lateral stability and responsiveness of the wheel when navigating through turns or like uneven terrain. So in EUCs, lever force impacts your yaw control, as pressure on the pads is transferred asymmetrically to manage directional changes or sudden course corrections. So the increased thickness in this modification of the pads enhances leverage, similar to how a larger rudder surface provides more control authority over yaw. So your center of gravity is impacted. In aviation, the center of gravity is the point where the aircraft's weight is balanced. For EUCs, the rider's body acts as the center of gravity, and the placement of the power pads determines how force is applied relative to this balance point. This modification effectively shifts the perceived center of gravity closer to your legs, improving pitch and yaw stability during cornering maneuvers, really anything. Moment arm. In aerodynamics, the moment arm is the distance from the control surface, like the elevator or the rudder, to the center of gravity. The longer the moment arm, it generates more torque for like the same input. So similarly, the positioning of these pads and their extensions adjusts the moment arm, allowing for greater torque control. This is especially important for steep climbs, aggressive braking, or off-road terrain. The stall threshold. So in aviation, this is the point where the wing loses lift. For EUCs, a stall could describe a point where the rider's input exceeds the motor's ability to respond, like a cutout. These pads reduce the risk of stalling by improving the efficiency and precision of the input forces. So it's more of this wave sign versus like that square sign, which creates a really, really sharp input, and that's where cutouts what's happened, the stall threshold, okay? The damping ratio, it's a measure of how oscillations settle after the disturbance. In an aircraft, it impacts stability during turbulence. So you see the gym floor in this modification acts as a damping mechanism, absorbing shocks and ensuring smoother recovery during sudden changes, okay? Now, the control surface stiffness. In aviation, it refers to the rigidity of flaps, elevators, and rudders, which influences their effectiveness. So the acrylic backplate in this system enhances stiffness, ensuring the inputs are transmitted directly and without deformation, akin to rigid control surfaces in an aircraft. The trim control. In aircraft, trim is used to maintain stability without continuous pilot input. These modifications effectively act as trim adjustments, optimizing pad placement and input sensitivity for a natural and stable ride, reducing the need for excessive rider effort. Inertial dampening. In aviation, this refers to managing the effects of inertia during sharp maneuvers. In EUCs, this foam layer contributes to inertial dampening, helping smoothing transitions when the wheel is experiencing sudden shifts in momentum. Okay, so the strengths of this system, all in all, the summary here is we've enhanced pitch control, okay? Like an aircraft with a finely tuned elevator, these pads enable precise acceleration and braking with minimal effort. Improved yaw response. With increased lever force, the rider has more confidence when navigating turns and handling off-axis moments, much like a responsive rudder system. Dynamic stability. The foam layer and rigid backplate combine to balance damping and stiffness akin to stabilizers on an aircraft, ensuring consistent performance across diverse conditions. So it also balances the load. So in load balancing, by optimizing the pad design and attachment, you shift the center of gravity and moment arm for maximum stability and maneuverability, mirroring the effect of aerodynamic trim. So this analogy bridges the technical principles of EUC with the well-established aviation concepts that Roger always talks about. And it's like, I don't know how nobody else has ever talked about any of this stuff, but he knows this stuff. He talks about this stuff, and this is the logic that he goes into when making the VCF that you've seen, when making this backplate modification that I've made, which is out of date. Guys, this dude is a genius, okay? Roger Chapman is a genius. He is a Frankenstein. He does not communicate well with people. I'll be the first to tell you that. He is a bashful dude. He will tell you that. But he is a genius. He stays in the lab. He stays cooking, guys. And I promise you, you are going to love when dinner is served. I can't tell you more than this, but I did want to get you ready. Put that name in your ears. Roger Chapman. This has been Johnny Go Vroom, and this is the Chapman Mod.
Don't flex anymore. I will show you the way.
So we removed the Velcro, right? Still a little tacky. And the next step, we are going to spread our E6000 all over our pad. And I got a little spatty-chula. Where the hell's my spatty-chula at? Oh, right here. Spatty-chula's right here, so I can spread it all over. All right. All right, so we now have our Clark pads, E6000, right, onto the gym subfloor. I'm gonna get a little bit of thickness out of that, right? But next step, I'm gonna actually run the heat gun around the edge here of the pad to make sure that the adhesive here creates a nice, good seal. In addition, I'm gonna add these guys here. It's a 15-pound chain, and we're gonna add that guy to help hold it down while this is all happening. So, yeah, buddy, it's looking good so far. I'm excited. I decided to do my smaller biopads, so instead of spreading it around with a spatula, I just put glue on the outside rim of one of them, put glue on the inside rim of the other one, and then I'm just giving them lots of pressure and love. Lots of pressure and love. Looks like we're pretty good covered, but I'm gonna make sure that, you know, like right here down to the edge, you want that edge to be completely covered because that's where it's gonna fail if it's gonna fail. So let's make sure it's good and smooth. All right, spreading that out. See, this is a much bigger spatula. Spatula. Yeah, love this. All right, guys, looks good. It's good. Okay, so now put these guys back down as well. So check it out. Just gotta make sure it fits. This one goes like that. And this one is gonna go like that. Yeah, okay. Now, gotta throw our chains on top. I'm using chains because the way that these are, they flex around a lot. And if I put like one piece of weight down, like in the middle here, it would make the ends flip up because like this is, you know, this is soft. So I kind of want just, you know, universal pressure all over it. So that's why. Go. All right, cool. So that's done. Now we're gonna let this stuff cure overnight. So the next process will happen in the morning, but we're gonna actually, we're gonna use our heat gun on this puppy just to make sure that we get some good adhesive activation here, okay? So we're going around the edges, blasting some heat. And I'm gonna go down the middle here. Again, this heat is gonna make sure that the adhesive gets down into that foam, into the plastic real good, and you get a really good cemented connection. So that's probably 30 seconds that I used on one pad. Heat, pressure, heat, pressure. It's gonna make sure that we get the best stick that we possibly can, okay? So we'll get back to the rest of it tomorrow, where we will be adding the acrylic to the other side, where I will be mounting my... All right, guys, so that's what we got right there. I'm gonna use this little handy dandy knife here and I'm gonna cut them all loose and then we'll see if the glue actually worked. So I gotta sand down my pads, the edges, right? Because if you look at the edges here, they're all kind of like over just a little bit. So we're gonna smooth that out. Anything that's extra, we're gonna cut it off, and then anything that's still there, we're gonna smooth it out. Every minute. We'll grab a razor blade. All right, we're gonna try to take it easy and be gentle with this. Well, yeah, I want this to get messed up. Okay, get this side over here. I'm just trying to get all of this stuff off the edge as much as I can anyway. All right, that's here. So I'm coming up this way so that way I can actually see what's happening. Right, so that's what we got now. Right, so those edges, I'm gonna try to smooth those out too. Works really well this way. If I had it to do again, I will do it this way the whole way around. Perfect. All right, okay. So, thinking about maybe putting some anchor sides here to maybe hold down better. But let's go ahead and finish shaving off the rest of this one here in our little arts and crafts project. Here we go. Okay, so what I want to do, sander, is I want to actually smooth out this side, but I'm wondering if I do want to smooth out this side or if I just want to use this as an adhesive. Damn it, let me ask Ben. Go Ben. Alright, so just as I thought, Ben thought that it would be a good idea to leave this here so that way this is a lot more, this has more places for the adhesive kind of get into. So we're going to use this with the acrylic. So I'm going to do this, then it's going to get one of these, just like this, on each of them, and we'll cut it around the edge, mount the Velcro, and then we'll have our new upgraded Clark pads. Love the BioPad design and what it offers in terms of biofeedback and ultimate control really for your wheel. It's awesome. Some people don't like that it locks you in all the way. You know, I don't like some of the janky finished components of it, but really when you look at kind of the genius of a 3D printer pad and what these offer, I mean, you know, Clark has some great innovations in the things that he does. He's a busy man, but he has some great innovations in the things that he does. So we definitely do like what this is. The finish, again, you know, but I mean, he's a busy man. So love that he gave us this platform to work with. It was a great innovation. We're going to be getting some adhesive because I don't have the adhesive right now. So we're going to get some adhesive and I'll put that adhesive on there and we'll get it all mounted and we'll rock out. So thank you guys for hanging with me and look forward to more cool DIY stuff. All right. So the next step in this process, okay, we want to make sure that the adhesive works. So we're gonna put some alcohol. Put some alcohol on our pads here, and boom. Then we're gonna put some acrylic. Boom. So little denature. Ooh, static cling. Let's go. Okay. So now let's go ahead and run them up. Gonna put our adhesive all over around the circle here. There we go. There we go. A little that. Right. All right. So put that lid back on them. Ooh. 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 Come on. Ooh. All right. There we go. Spread it round with a little spatty-chula. A little spatty-chula action there. Right? A little spatty-chula. Just filling in all of them little crevassiers. All right. All right. I like to think I got it all over this thing. All right. All right. I'm gonna do a couple more here. Just a little boop, 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 boop. These edges really worry me, so I'm gonna hit something at like each of the corners here, because I just don't want this shit to come undone, right? So now, let's go ahead and put this bad boy right here. So I'm gonna make sure that I get all of this adhesive stuck here. So I'm gonna take this bad boy inside. Go. Use our little heat gun here. And so there we go. Alright, we're gonna press this guy down. Right? Lots of pressure here. Alright. So I'm gonna take my little mallet here. And I'm just gonna go around my guy here. Just because pressure and the heat is gonna help with the adhesive. Alright. Alright. Okay. Now I'm gonna go like this. Oh, I'm gonna pull this off. Alright. So the goal here is to make sure that the adhesive is completely stuck. The plastics are fused. The adhesive and the plastics are all fused. That's the goal here. Is that it? Boom. Okay, so it looks like the ends are trying to flare up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on here so that way the ends don't flare up, because that's what they're trying to do. Okay, that's what it looks like is happening here. So I'm gonna weigh down the edges. I'm gonna put one in the middle. All over. Get it good and smooth. Alright? Okay. Alright, we're still doing our little modifications here. Yes, the process is coming to an end. We are getting closer to the final product. Oh, yes. Now we got to sand it. All right, we got the edges sanded. We got them cut out. Now we've got to add some Velcro, and then our pads will be ready. Whenever dealing with Velcro, you're going to want to make sure that you cure it. Well, any adhesive you want to cure, and really some of the best things to do is a heat gun. I'm trying to keep this heat gun at, like 16, 12 inches away, and just occasionally pressing on to the pad as I'm rotating, okay? If you put it too close, you're gonna ruin the Velcro quality. Not close enough, you're not gonna do anything for the adhesive, so just be gentle. I'm a big fan of the way that the voltage on this wheel, you can hear it, all that power running through that wheel, just ready to rock and roll. We're about to do that.
got your ID?
Yeah, I'm just. You don't go splat too hard. I'm glad you wear all that armor, man.
Thank you so much, dude.
Have a good one.
You work out like crazy, no?
A little bit. I'm trying.
Stay blessed, bro. Thank you. Man.
How's the scooter going?
Oh, dude. Real good.
You can spare a buck, did you?
Huh?
You can spare a buck, did you?
I might.
I've got $1 going over the sales.
I work here, so it's
Yeah.
not a problem for me, but don't ask the patrons, you know?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm not doing that.
Take care, brother. What up? Saw the most jacked cop I've ever seen. Yeah, bro. You know, be safe. And then he kind of looked me over a little bit. He was like, you know, I'm really happy you're wearing all that stuff. I'm like, you know, so I told him, I was like, I wrestle with the ground and I lose every time, you know, like it's not,